funny because my friend in South Africa also has a nasty cold. She sent me a voicemail, and I said, "You sound like a South African frog." And she said, "Well, I hope you croak through your talk today." So I will do my best to croak through my talk today. So we're talking about let's begin. Every new year starts with each new moment. I like this idea, if I can just remember it, because it's we often think ahead and we think behind, and we don't always live in the only place we can, which is now, in the here and now. But we always have the opportunity to do that and to bring ourselves into that place where we're present in this now moment, and we can decide that, I guess not decide, but observe how much of our thought goes off different directions. I'm going to share an example of that in just a moment here. So another new year is upon us, so we naturally turn our thoughts to new beginnings. This idea takes on various meanings depending on where we are in life. The one principle that applies to all, however, has to do with recognizing each moment as a new beginning. And I said that that depends on where we are in life, because I remember giving New Year's talks, early in my career, and I was starting a career, I was writing books, doing things that were different, not been married that long, had kids that were young, and so new beginnings meant something different than it does now. And I wondered what would be the best way to talk about new beginnings to people who had had plenty of them, and what is a new beginning now? And so the way I think about it these days is I don't really set long-term goals, and it's not that I'm afraid of checking out anytime soon. It's just that I pay more attention to what's going on now, what the quality of my life is doing now, or what I'm doing at this place that I am in. And so often we're trying to get out of it. We're thinking ahead, we're thinking behind, and we don't always ground ourselves in this now moment. We don't, I guess, value it, really understand what it is, until we really stop and think about it. And I've said before that every holiday has some spiritual principle behind it. And that's the principle I want to address today. And I said when I was working on this message, as I write this message, for example, it is easy to allow distractions to divert my attention away from the task at hand. Working with a computer means that I have access to a lot of interesting information. You're all familiar with that. For example, as I wrote this line, I thought about the lost library of Alexandria and what ancient knowledge we may have lost because of the fire that destroyed it. With a few keystrokes, I could have pursued that topic and many others that would undoubtedly have popped up along the way. As a person who likes to write, when I have a project in mind, and especially if have been putting it off, and this week's program topic, I didn't really know what I was going to talk about. And so normally I have that all done by Thursday, and this week I didn't do it till Saturday. So I was up to the point where I needed to get it done, and I didn't really want to do it. I didn't feel like doing it. So I would find myself making all kinds of excuses to think about other things and do other things. When you get on the computer and thoughts go through your head like, what does this old library have to do with anything? But because we have that kind of information, that we have access to it, we look it up, and it's interesting. So you can do that. You can start out by doing something and then jump off on something else. And it's so easy on a computer to do that. But it's, so I sat down to write my article. I was notified that we have a new subscriber. This little thing pops up. A friend emailed me that I was alerted to that. Facebook presented yet another friend suggestion, which I no longer take. So what about the task at hand? And what happens with the computer, it's the same thing that happens in our minds, that all these things jump in and take us away. Like, I better check that email, and if I check it, it's going to be probably a 30-minute ordeal that's going to take me away from writing my bulletin back. Or, just to see who this new subscriber is, or what the friend suggestion is on Facebook. My Facebook account was hacked 2 or 3 times. I can't remember how many, but I got where I just don't want to do that anymore. The church is on it. If you want to friend me, if you want to make me your friend, do that through the church, because I don't do it on a person. I think I have one friend on Facebook, which is kind of indicative probably of my real life, but I just don't want to keep up with that, it's anymore. I used to be there all the time. I had 500 friends, and I think I knew 3 of them or something. I don't know what that really even means. But anyway, the point is, these things pop up on your screen, it says, take a look at this. You've got something here that's important. Well, it's not. Because if you do that, you'll, instead of getting done in 15 or 20 minutes, you'll be a couple hours maybe following other things, because another link can add, you can lead other places. So to illustrate my point, I did not pursue research on the ancient library, check out our new subscriber, respond to my friend's email, or check out the new friend suggestion. I'll do those things at another moment. When I sat down to complete this task, I was saying, let's begin. I was immediately confronted with temptations that would detract from my intended goal. And I'm not sure how you are, but when I get an email notification from somebody I know, my tendency is to see what it says. Sometimes I'll forget if I don't do it, but that happens. But I just have a feeling of obligation when it's like if your phone rings, you answer it. You tend to look at it and see what's going on, even if you're talking to somebody. It's become kind of a rude aspect of our society these days, but we're all growing used to it. But there's all kinds of reasons that we can stop doing whatever it is we're doing in the now moment. And if we say to ourselves, I'm going to start paying more attention to life, I'm going to start being more present. Any of you ever said that? I'm going to start being more present in this now moment and really appreciating my life. And then 5 seconds later, somebody calls, or there's a distraction where you're taken out of the moment. It's so easy to have that happen, and especially in our electronic age. But I'm not sure that's really any different. It's we go when we go, whenever. I recall the saying of Jesus. I think he was kind of ahead of his time. No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. So when I said, I'm going to write this article, I was putting my hand to the plow. It's a simple illustration, a simple thing. But what does he mean that if you put your hand to the plow, then take your hand off and walk off, you're not fit for the kingdom? He's saying that's how it works, that you put your hand to the plow of anything you're doing. And let's talk about simple things, because most of the things in life we do are simple. They're just normal things. But watch where our mind goes. It goes to the future, it goes to the past, goes all over the place. And I think that's a great observation. No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. He's not saying that we're not fit for the kingdom of God because we have a short attention span. He's saying that that's the way this kingdom thing works. If you want your life to work, you set your goal, you set your intention, and you keep your mind focused in that direction. That's really all it's saying, as far as that's how I understand it. Because I know how easy it is to not stay with that, to put your hand to the plow and then answer an email, put your hand to the plow and check out the Facebook friend suggestion, even though you're not doing it. It's just a distraction. And if you put your hand to the plow of something you don't really want to do in the first place, it's going to be a lot easier to pull yourself away. So really what it's saying is to become mindful of where we are, what goals we choose in life, and what if you have an issue that comes up in your life and you find yourself worrying about it, is that really the road you want to go down? If you put your hand to the plow of resolving the issue, or of believing the issue will be resolved, and then you worry about it, that's taking your hand off the plow. And that's, pulling your energy back and let it kind of disperse in other directions. And it happens in all kinds of ways, and again, the simplest things in life. That's where we really want to focus, because life is made up of all those simple things. So even as I pulled this passage from an online Bible, I was tempted to pursue a couple of other links that came up in my search, yet they were not in the field I intended to plow. So you get the point. I pulled up this Bible thing, and it talked about the tomb of Jesus they thought they had discovered. And I thought, well, that'd be an interesting article. And then there was another one that was, did they find the home of Jesus, in Nazareth? They're excavating, and they think they did, or they think they found a home from that period. I think I shared that with you a couple of weeks ago. So things like that, I look up a Bible verse, and I love the online Bible because, you're not flipping through pages or looking through a concordance or like I used to have to do. You type in a couple of words and the verse will pop up, which is really wonderful. But other things pop up too. And so you can pursue those things and not really get to the thing you want to do, but you understand what I'm saying. That's why we have a crooked row here. So in the past, I have said that we do not have to achieve success for our whole life. We only need to achieve success now. Our mind is like the computer that keeps throwing up interesting links that would distract us from being present. So let's begin to get into the habit of putting our hand to the plow and staying with it until the field is ready to plant. So I like that imagery. It gives you something to hang on to, something to think about. To put your hand to the plow, just apply that to whatever it is you're doing. Thank you for watching this week's program. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with others. We want to reach as many people as we can, and we appreciate your help. We have many subjects in our video lineup, so feel free to take a look. If there's a topic you don't see and would like me to address, just put it in the comment section. I'd love to know what's on your mind. Thanks again for your interest in Independent Unity, and have a wonderful week.